Not quite sure how long we'll stay live this time, but I have decided to come down here in the secret room. So if you just saw my last Instagram photo, ever notice that for some reason, maybe it's my filter that I'm using on my phone, but when I take a picture of my tea, which is a white tea, right, which is what they call it in England, I think, it looks green. Comes off as green. Looks like I'm like doing the milk from Star Wars, which isn't a bad reference. Hey Andy, we're back in the room because today my jump on topic. This is really going. I'm in the room, so it's going to be pretty free flow. We can actually talk about anything here. I'm going to be talking about and showing. Hey Corey. Hey Danush. I am in the secret room, and we're going to be talking. Well, first I'm going to be talking sci-fi through here. Some of my favorite sci-fi shows of all time. I see it. My favorite like box sets and stuff like that. This is my room for this one, guys. Just for my TV stuff, and like my actually my and also some of my collectibles, my VHS and that as well. I do need to get like another couple shelves here because right now my VHS is like on the floor. Really, it's kind of like stacked up in a corner there, and I need to rectify that situation. But today, Shout Factory made an announcement. Hey, Say Light Shot. Yes, Andy, that is the reason this video is being made tonight. Actually, that is the genesis behind that video. I have to thank everybody that came in for my last video. I've got to I've got to thank Cyril at Midnight for helping to inspire that video, and hopefully sometime in the near future we can do a crossover of some sort, and it'll be kind of fun. We do actually. IKEA is around 4 hours drive away though, guy. But I do go there. My kids live in Halifax. My youngest is doing geography there in university, and my oldest works at a bank there. And, this is one of my favorite places. Recently, I'll be honest with you, I've been trying to. I'm doing like a Stephen King video on Saturday, kind of like Stephen King adaptations, and it's been. I tried to watch a few of some movies age better than others, so we'll talk about that later. Your Facebook, I have. Can I be honest? I'm one of those guys that for a long time have wanted to get rid of my Facebook, but family, pretty much is the only reason that I keep that stuff. Because I got like family and like some friends from our way that that's the only way that I can contact them, because not all of my family has Instagram, or definitely don't have Twitter, that's for sure. But yeah, I'm very excited, as Andy just mentioned there. Shout Factory announced a Space 1999 Blu-ray complete collection set. It looks awesome. Definitely look it up. It's got not only that, but it has a kind of looks like a snow globe, which shows the Eagle One landing on the moon. Pretty important sequence in Space 1999. You know the one I'm talking about. It's a show that I grew up with. Now, I have the older box set of Space 1999 right here, and I've said recently, like, how I came about this, so I won't go into that again. But I couldn't recover it. It looks pretty awesome, dude, if you've seen it there. Yeah, it is. It's one of those things. It's like those weird, like, I hate the way that the light is coming up on me right now, though. So this is the original box. So this is the 7 DVD mega set that they put out. 17 DVD. Now Space 1999 ran for 2 seasons. If you're familiar with the show, it was kind of like a British Canadian, I think, co-production. And it starred, of course, at the time, the couple of Martin Landau and Barbara Bain. Now, people also would remember these two from another series, which is over there. It's just Mission Impossible. They were the leads on that show as well. Now, if you've never seen Space 1999, it's broken up really into 2 ways. There's the first season and there's the second season. And there's dramatic differences between the first and second season. The first season of Space 1999, for instance, it's dark, it's creepy, it's gothic, actually. in some aspects, and it has some pretty haunting scenes. So for a lot of younger viewers, they remember when they saw Space 1999. They remember that like one-eyed alien creature that like that's killing everybody and like turning them into stone. Oh yeah, they do. Uh, actually, they do. Honestly, I actually didn't see that. And the in the second season, Space 1999, like they brought on a lot of Star Trek writers, and the show became much more kind of a lighter sci-fi type of show as compared to the first season. Like the first season was super gothic and all. The second season they brought on like this girl, for instance, that could she could shape change into different into different creatures and that. That was kind of neat. That was kind of different. But for a lot of people, like the first season, it was a glory year for Space 1999. It was still good in the second season, but the first season, it kept you up at nights. It was one of those you could have nightmares with. Now, when I was a kid, of course, the thing that we collected were bubblegum cards, and Space 1999 had them. So I would pick up like whenever I went to the store. Hey Drax, how's it going, man? What are you excited about Space 1999? The new Shout Factory Blu-ray that's coming out in July. So when I would go to the store, I would pick them up. So there's one episode that terrified me. The creature frightened the crap out of me. To this day, I'm an adult in my in my 40s, and still I'm gonna try to find this creature on here now. And I hate doing this because it did creep me out, and you're gonna laugh because the creature's not gonna seem scary to you. But you have to take it as like as back in the day, like when I was a kid, like watching the show. Yeah, here it is. Actually, it's this like to to a lot of people this is going to come off as like super cheesy and silly, but this is like an up close kind of look at it. But I'll give you like kind of like the. So this here, and I'm not sure how well you can see this. This creature. Now this one right here, see? It freaked me out, and I had. This is actually the bubblegum card that I had when I was a kid. And I would have to keep that card hidden away in the back of my closet, away from other stuff. Because whenever I saw it the day after, no word of a lie. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna try to pretend I was braver than I was. No, I had nightmares about that creature, like coming in and standing above my bed with the hey movie archives with the big eye and the glowing and the green and the pussy sliminess and just like and you're sliding down towards this creature, and you know that once you get through you're stone, you can't move, that's it, you're paralyzed, no more. So yeah, obviously a bit warped as a kid. I got one of those infamous rings of T-rings, which I do not like because it'll warp my. All right. Pretty good. I'm actually excited. B-Movie Archives, because Space 1999, which is one of my favorite sci-fi shows of all time, if not my favorite sci-fi show, is coming out on Blu-ray in July from Shout Factory. And that gave me the idea to come into the secret room and actually do a video talking about, well, my favorite sci-fi shows of all time. Hey, Wolf. I'm going to put this over here so that I don't mess it up. And I am going to make sure that I look at a couple of my other favorite sci-fi shows. Now, my better half's favorite science fiction series of all time is this one right here. It's Farscape. Now, if you've never seen Farscape, it's one that I have to. I gotta say, I strongly recommend. I watched a few episodes of this show, but it was my better half that got me into it, and it's an incredible series. A really successful science fiction series is one that truly creates a universe around what it makes it believable. And Farscape is one of the shows that does that. It's a very alien show. Like he's in a very alien setting, and it doesn't kind of pussyfoot around it. It actually it goes all in on the aliens. It goes all in on the alien aspect, and you really feel it. No, but it's becoming less of a secret room, but it tends to be one of my favorite rooms to make videos in recently. I haven't checked for the count. There's like, yeah, 31 audio commentaries. Actually, I'll be honest with you, I have not listened to any of the audio commentaries on these sets. But if you say they're really good, I actually will check them out. Now, if I remember correctly, I think he went on to Stargate afterwards, right? This is a great show. What's really great is that later on in the show, there's an episode, and anybody that's seen Farscape has watched the whole thing. There was the series, and then they ended with the Peacekeeper Wars, which was the films. Is it on Blu-ray? I don't know. It might be. I grabbed the DVD set for my better half when it came out. This was a Christmas present for her. It was kind of ironic, actually kind of funny. We were just kind of just started dating at the time. I got her Farscape, and she got me Robotech. So we both knew each other's favorites pretty well. So she had this box set under the Christmas tree, and I was hoping, and I had the box set, and they were both around the same size, right? So we were kind of both hoping we hadn't gotten each other the same set. So, but it's a fantastic show. What people remember about this is that it went all in on the alien aspect of the world. Jim Henson worked on this one, if I remember correctly. Oh, I missed what he said. There was a stream and I missed it. I always miss the streams. I know. Usually it's because I'm in the middle of like chore time. Right now, I'm actually looking at going back to school, and I can let you guys know what it is that I'm looking to go into now. I said I was going to let you know when I spoke with with somebody. So I did speak with somebody, and it looks like I'm going to be going into computer programming and security. So should be interesting. A lot of another way, I guess it's sort of sci-fi. A lot of languages and stuff to learn, the future and all that. As for people that have been watching for a long time, a few years back, I got my business degree and kind of want to. Now, oh God, yes, the favorite episode of Farscape, the Looney Tunes episode. There is legitimately a Looney Tunes episode in the series Farscape, and man, is it good. It really captures the feel of the Looney Tunes aspect, and trust me, once you get to it, I think it might be the third or fourth season actually, but when you get to it, you don't forget it. It's actually a really fun episode, and it doesn't come off as a gimmick episode. It doesn't come off as out of place. You kind of got to watch the series to know, but it actually it's one of those that just fits in perfectly. Now, other sci-fi shows that I personally like to watch. This is one I used to actually sneak off school for. So they started showing this one on the weekdays. So I blame CBC. It's their fault that I had to skip school, because they started showing Buck Rogers in the 25th century, like on a weekday. Hey, Chet, dude, welcome. Enjoying your vacation? Oh, I can't upgrade yet, because that is a really good. That DVD set is really good. Unless there's significant, like feature-wise, if it's the same thing, it's just on Blu-ray, because the DVD set is really good and the quality is really good. But if you don't have it, definitely it's something to look into. But Buck Rogers. I do tend to buy a lot of my TV shows on DVD, like unless they're similarly priced. Or, like say if it's a 4K like show and it comes out on 4K, and then that'll be like I really appreciate it, Bo. You're on vacation and actually coming in, even if you tune in just for like a few minutes. That does mean a lot. So thank you, dude. Oh no, it's that's okay. So yeah, CBC putting on the show, making me skip school. Making me skip. So now I got it. So now I don't have the skip school. Now when I'm going to getting on the bus to going to school. Oh, I'm going to get the Firefly. That's actually here too. I'm a huge fan of. I like Josh Whedon's like TV stuff. I like Buffy, Angel. You know, they're not sci-fi, so they're not in this one. But Firefly is one that I really like. I was not happy when I watched Serenity, and you know how it ends if you're a Firefly fan. Millennium. I don't know if I got. I don't think I got that movie. That needs a better release, actually. I'm not. I don't think it's gotten a really good release yet, has it? But I do remember the film you're talking about. But yeah, speaking of Mel Blancs, and you ever notice that a lot of like the sci-fi shows do like a change up in the last season, whether it's like a creative change or something like that, and it just won't have the same feel. Now, one thing I can say, if you do go in and you get something like a Farscape, uh, the creative direction is solid all the way through. It's good when a creator like a head like the somebody that's heading it actually knows what they're doing and they know where they're going. They've got a plan. You'll see sometimes shows will shift. Now with when it came to shows like I'm a Star Trek fan, right? I don't have the action figures they do, and I wish I did because they were so cool. I wanted them. If I ever find them out somewhere, I would definitely grab them. I'm not sure if they did any reaction figures of Buck Rogers yet, because I would do that as well. Battlestar Galactica. I don't have it yet. I got the new Battlestar Galactica, and that's upstairs in my display cabinet. So if you ever watch my Instagram videos or my Twitter videos, you're going to see the Buck Rogers set. It's usually up there. It's in a big black box, and it's got like a Cylon head on it. Now, the original the original Battlestar Galactica series, I really did love, and it only lasted a season, and then it turned into Galactica 80, which had them like going back on Earth. I I froze for a second. Hopefully, that's not going to be a sign of things to come. I loved Battlestar Galactica. I was a kid when it came out. I was at the perfect age. There was these like shiny like Cylon characters and incredible musical score. And Lauren Green, had this deep voice. Lauren Green was like a Canadian actor who, I guess, for years had done Bonanza. But my grandfather, I'd known him. He was kind of the voice of the war here in Canada. It was a voice that he would hear on the news during back in the day. So way before my time. But the Cylons, it took me a while to get into the new Battlestar Galactica series because the Cylons they were so different, and of course there was that really sexy like female Cylon. You remember from Bonanza? Now he was the character that did get to like kind of the crossover into Galactica. I think it was in Galactica 80 as well. Now they did change a lot of the show when it came to the new series, right? But I really enjoyed Galactica, and I enjoyed Galactica 80. Especially, hey 13 Wolfman, there's a two-parter in Galactica 80 that if you're a fan of the original Battlestar Galactica series, you got to see because it explains what happened to the lead character, and it's kind of he gets like stranded on a planet with a Cylon and this girl. It's a really good episode, and if you've ever seen Galactica 80, you're gonna know immediately what it is, and it's the guy from the A-Team, of course, it was in it. Corey, I'm just so excited right now. John Colicos. Oh man, you guys are taking me back, and I love that. I've been getting into to a lot of the TV stuff recently. Oh, the Star. I got a few of them. I mean, like when it comes to the Blu-rays of them, I've got the complete Star Trek: The Next Generation on DVD. I have when it comes to the series. I've got the original for 1, 2, and 3. Well, 3 seasons of the original series. I have the first 4 of the Star Trek: The Next Generation. I really love The Next Generation. This came out when I was in college. I think this came out around the year that I went to college. I think The year before, actually. Howdy, how's it going? And great show. I still got to get seasons 5, 6, and 7 on Blu-ray. I do have them on DVD, but I've got the first 4 seasons on Blu-ray. You know me, guys. I'm a completist. And I was at a Giant Tiger store here in Canada, 1987. So it was 2 years because I graduated in '89. It's going to tell you how old I am, by the way. To Star Trek Enterprise. Now, some people don't like this show. I'm not one of those people. I actually really like this show. And I don't think it got they dropped storylines, which was a big, wasn't something that should have been done. But they did a great idea. They did a great job overall. Great casting on that show. You can't go wrong with the Star Trek Blu-ray sets. They're incredible. I love the early ones where they give you like the 2 different editions of like you can watch the show in its regular, like without like updated stuff. I liked Enterprise. See, I don't think it was a jumbled mess, but then again, everybody can't like the same thing, right? You like the original. A lot of people do. Me and my one of my college friends actually would argue all the time about who was the better captain, Captain Picard or Captain Kirk. And I would back then he really loved Next Generation. He bought like we'd buy the comics. So I would Janeway. I would buy. Well, she wasn't around at that time. So I would buy the Star Trek, the original series comic books. DC put out some really great prestige format comics at the time for Star Trek, and he would buy the Next Generation. So because I knew he was such a huge fan, and he would say, Picard, he's the greatest captain of all time, and we'd get into that, and I'd be like, yeah, but I don't know. I think Kirk could take Picard. He would so flip. To the point where, because I was a bit of a dick in college, he actually stopped talking to me for a little bit of a time because of, because of the Kirk Picard thing. Well, think about it this way, Soylon. The original Star Trek series only runs 3 seasons, right? So you just got 3 seasons there. Now, understand that, there's definitely a lot of them. James Tiberius Kirk, baby. Then you got the Next Generation. The Next Generation runs 7 seasons. Be horror, always a plus. Then you get to after Next Generation comes Deep Space Nine. Now, Deep Space Nine, good show. However, Deep Space Nine starts slow. It takes about a season or so for Deep Space Nine to really get its footing. I said this in a recent, in a video that I just recently did. Ran 7 seasons, thank you. And that the worst thing that they can do is do a villain role and make him like completely like too over the top, and where you just see him kind of like doing that. As an actor, when you play a bad guy, when you play a villain, you got to believe that whatever you're doing, if you're killing somebody, if you're murdering a bunch of people, if you're betraying somebody that was like a former ally of yours, you got to believe you're in the right, that you're the hero of your own story. That's the only way that you can really play a villainous character and have them kind of keep them coming back, keep people like kind of believing in them. Always be the hero of your own story. Well, actors and actresses have to leave shows, unfortunately. I did like Deep Space Nine. It did take a while to get into. Voyager I liked initially, and that's one that kind of petered off for me. But thanks. And the last one, Enterprise, I got into, and I got frustrated by the fact that they would like bring a storyline in with the Shadow Council and all this stuff, and they drop it. So, out of all the shows that are there, everyone has their reasons. Yeah. I've seen Shakespearean plays that were ruined by people that just decided that, you know, Iago is it's just going to be this, and you just can't do that. This show here, this is definitely one of my favorites. If you want to see a show done right, here we go. This is Babylon 5. Now, out of all the shows that are out there, now, a lot of this, I'll be honest with you, a lot of the, a lot of Babylon 5's, like some of the special effects, CGI, doesn't really stand the test of time right now. But the series Babylon 5 is fantastic. And the reason it is because J. Michael Straczynski, the guy that created the show, he knew. He had a long-term goal. He had a Bible for the show. He had like a 5-year plan. So basically, he knew going in that what this character in season 1 was going to be doing in season 4. Things that, Babylon 5 was the second season extension. Yeah, well, that's the thing. That was unexpected at the time because they thought they were going to get canceled. Or do you mean like Crusade? Because I think Crusade didn't get the chance to pay off. So we'll never know with Crusade. That one got canceled way too early to be able to really say, okay, Crusade works or doesn't work. That was kind of the spin-off of Babylon 5. It's uneven. Crusade Wolf is uneven. Crusade was never given the chance to grow, and you've seen Babylon 5. You can tell that those characters and the stories, it's a long haul series. Oh yeah, actually I showed that just before you came, Wolf. That's my better half's favorite series of all time. Or it's her favorite sci-fi show ever. Farscape. Farscape's her favorite sci-fi show, and Lord of the Rings is her favorite trilogy. Well, Lord of the Rings and Indiana Jones. She goes back and forth with those. She's a big sci-fi fantasy geek, like me. And now that I'm going back to school and I'm doing computer programming, I guess I'm going to come across as even geekier. But did somebody mention Andromeda? I think, do I have a season of Andromeda here? I kind of felt like I did, but I can't find it right now. I like Temple of Doom, actually. It's the last one. Crystal Skull. And that was okay. But man, yeah. Crystal Skull can be kind of a... And if you ever really wondered, the Star Trek show that I like, if you had any kind of doubts, I do have this. Space 1999. Chet was the first thing I put on here. They're actually putting out a new... Show Factory is putting out a new Blu-ray set of Space 1999. And it's going to have the box set with a globe on it. I loved Highlander, and it was one of those kind of B shows. Was fun and cheesy. Kingdom of the Spire. I want to own that movie, but there's a problem. I'm arachnophobic. That being said, when arachnophobia came to the theater, I went and saw it. I do have the Star Trek animated series as well. That's kind of like the unofficial 4th season of the original Star Trek series. Great writers in it, by the way. They had a lot of the writers from the original series actually doing the animated series as well, and they could do some things that they couldn't do on the TV series. Unfortunately, the animated series only did go for 1 season. Now there are some I think we should talk about some of the shows that kind of didn't make it. Ones that the original Logan's Run series that came from the I think it was Gregory Harrison in that one, the guy from Trapper John MD. And of course, there was, oh yeah, the Planet of the Apes series. Shatner is a fantastic actor, and people sometimes wonder about his enunciation of things. And I always think that comes back to theater, and his unique voicing structure comes back to the fact that Canadians do tend to have an accent, like a Canadian accent, but and you get a lot of like people that go into theater. Shatner was a theater actor that went into TV and stuff like that afterwards. But he was primarily, like a lot of them, was primarily a theater actor. And I think that his voice, the affliction, what he does, the way that he does it, partially, it's never been said, but as another Canadian, I do kind of find that we tend to just switch it up a bit, change your accent. And I think that's what he did, is like he did a certain kind of like a theater type of way to, and he's a very theatrical actor. He does go over the top when it comes to certain things, but he does it in a way that still works within the confines of whatever he's doing. I think you go from Star Trek to see him in something like Boston Legal, which he's incredible in, by the way. If you never, I don't usually watch a lot of those shows. I was not a huge fan of The Practice, but Boston Legal I did. Voyager's early. Yeah, I remember Voyager's. Actually, he has a good boss. He does. I think a lot of that too does come from theater. When you're in theater, it's not like when you're on camera. When you're on camera, like when I'm here, right? I'm here. I don't need to project too much in order for you to get what I'm saying. I can, with a play of words or like a slight like movement or look, you pretty much know where I'm coming from. Now on the theater, in theater it's different. So you get like a lot of people, like all over. You have to, like it has to come across. So it's bigger. And Shatner does tend to go bigger, and I find that a lot of theater actors do that. There's 2 American pilots for Red Dwarf, I think. I know I've seen one of them. I think I've seen them both. I'm pretty sure there's 2. I'm a huge fan of Red Dwarf. Not going to be a big surprise. I definitely have a weird, quirky sense of humor, and Red Dwarf fits into that category for me. But there's a lot of those shows. Like somebody mentioned, I mentioned Planet of the Apes, short-lived series. Wasn't the greatest. It was on the run type shows. But I enjoyed it back in the day. Of course, Planet of the Apes also did have like an animated series that spun off from there as well. Now, aside from, of course, Logan's Run, Planet of the Apes, we also had the Westworld, series. And I don't mean the one that's on now, which is doing really well. I mean the original one, because there was like a kind of Back to Westworld, I think, something like that was called. And it didn't last very long. I think it lasted a season, like a short season. But there was a Westworld series. If you buy the Blu-ray Westworld, I think it's on Westworld, then you get the first episode of the series, like the pilot. So interesting to watch, different to check out. It wasn't good though. Like it was so bad, man. It was like that's like watching. Did you ever see the American version of the IT Crowd? Just thank God he got Community. That's all I gotta say. Thank God he got Community, because that was some pretty bad stuff. Now, as for like some of the newer sci-fi shows, one that I can definitely recommend. Let me find a good season of this one. If you've never checked it out, I do recommend checking it out, and that is Orphan Black. I would love to see them redo Tripods. They could redo good with that one. You didn't like Tripods? Or you didn't like Orphan Black? Orphan Black I really liked. Actually, they're kind of bringing this back. That's what I've heard anyway. It's a rumor. The actress in this had to play so many different roles. Because Orphan Black basically is about this girl that's she's been cloned and been cloned many times. There's very many different like iterations of who she is. It's definitely worth checking out. I mean, she has to play all these different. Like, there's one like she's a mom. She's got a kid. There's another one that's a street person. Let me know what you think, Wolf. I actually would be interested in your thoughts on it. Hopefully you like it. It surprised me. It's one that I didn't think I was going to get too much into, and I actually did. There's a few shows like that that I'll be like, I actually didn't see everything that was on TV. I ended up picking up the series because I do like to to grab seasons of stuff and kind of to binge it that way. I'm doing that with Castle Rock tonight, actually. I guess in a Canadian way, we can always go with Sci Factor, which is a Canadian version of X Files. Really, it's kind of what it is. There was also another Canadian version of X Files. Didn't last for long, but I cannot remember the name of that show. And it was like one of those period shows. But Sci Factor, hosted in first season, of course, by Dan Aykroyd. You couldn't get into Orphan Black. I think it's worth the watch. It's a nice journey, but everything's not going to be for everyone. Like, there's shows that my better half loves that I can't get into, and there's ones definitely that I like that she wouldn't watch in a million years. It's all just a matter of taste and opinion. She's watched all of Fringe. I haven't. I've seen like the first. I'll be honest with you guys. I've seen like the first three-ish seasons of Fringe. I got to watch the rest. But she was way into it more than I was. Like super into Fringe. We got the whole series there. It was kind of comical. It annoys me because we bought the first 3 seasons of Fringe on DVD. Then HMV was closing down, and they had like this last day sale, and where we were one of the last HMVs to close down. Oh, The Invaders is fun. Invaders was a series that was, of course, created by he's passed on up by Larry Cohen, but it stars Roy Fiennes. If it's the original Invaders you're talking about, right? And basically, it is the man on the run, the man sees something that he shouldn't see type of show that was popular around that time period. Larry Cohen was, he's very kind of like political, like social political writer. He had a way that he wanted, with the weird fingers, exactly, that he wanted to go with it. But at the end of the day, he ended up leaving the show because he didn't feel that he was going to be able to tell it like as true as he wanted to. Now, another one that we watched a lot, my better half was a huge fan of, and one of the things that she brought into the relationship movie-wise, or TV show-wise, when I met her, was Stargate. She was a huge Stargate fan. I'm feeling like I got a cold coming on, so I'm out of frame for a minute. Because I prefer not to blow my nose on camera. But yeah, she was a huge Stargate fan. She had the complete Stargate series and Stargate Atlantis, which she has admitted that she watched a lot for Jason Momoa, because, that was his thing. And my favorite Stargate, here's a good example of like people having different opinions and different tastes in shows. The Stargate that I liked, the one that I really loved, was a Stargate series called Stargate Universe. It was the third one, the last of the Stargate shows. I completely fell in love with that show. Thought it was fantastic. My better half hated it. She thought it wasn't Stargate. Well, it did. I mean, but then again, a lot of the alien planets in Doctor Who, they kind of look like gravel pits and stuff, because it's it's kind of the way it was. Budget limitations. I think one of the things that amazed me so much when I started watching Stargate was they had a guy that looked so much. See, I liked the universe. Tea. I need it tonight. I'm not feeling at my best, guys. I found out today. I had to get my blood test done yesterday. I'm not sure if I mentioned it on there or not, but I had to get it done because I had a new doctor. And found out that I got a B12 deficiency. So I got to be taking some needles on a monthly basis. Fun stuff. SG1? Well, SG1 is the one, the first one, Stargate. SG1 she loves that. She loves Stargate Atlantis. She didn't like SGU, was one she didn't watch. We argued about it too. Like I was like, this is fantastic, this is great. She says, this is wannabe Battlestar Galactica. We'd have like massive debates about Stargate Universe. It's actually the only one to this day that we don't own because I want to haven't come across it. And two, she would never buy it on her own. The other Stargate shows were bought by her. Like I got Stargate Atlantis up there, right? And it's in it's in one of those long box sets that you guys are so familiar with when they put those out. There's Aquaman himself right there. Now, if you are a soap opera fan, for instance, see this guy here is actually now just recently got a role on General Hospital, so he's still acting. My better half is not a soap opera fan, and she was slightly disheartened to hear that you found Michael Shanks irritating. I liked it, Michael Shanks. Did you like him as Hawkman in Smallville? Because he was Hawkman in Smallville as well. But yeah, I also, let's see, when I can, if I find any of these, I tend to pick them up. I'll make sure you take some. Me, I'm just trying to drink as much milk and like stuff and juices as I can. I love these here, like weird looking sets from Star Trek. I got like ones for this, and of course there's the ones for the original series. The crappiest packaging they put out was for the Next Generation. Man, the packaging for the Next Generation sucks. The DVD packaging. I got them here over here somewhere, and they have these silver things. The Andromeda. I like Michael Crichton. Not everything Michael Crichton does. I read a lot of his more of his books when I was younger. So it'd be interesting to see them do it. I'll be picking it up. Yeah, it was kind of interesting. I was watching General Hospital, and I'm like, dude, that dude looks really familiar. And then he turned a certain angle. I'm like, Stargate Atlantis. That's the guy from Stargate Atlantis. I'm trying to think of shows that I missed, shows that I haven't said yet. Because there's a lot of sci-fi shows out there, a lot of things that people like. And in a way, of course, there's shows like got upstairs, like The $6 Million Man, for instance, which is kind of a superhero, but still is a sci-fi type show. And of course, The Bionic Woman, which I really enjoyed. Now, of course, they did like a remake of The Bionic Woman that only lasted for one season. Starred Michelle Ryan, and could have been good. Actually, I liked some aspects of that one. You want to talk comedy stuff? Hey, there's Third Rock from the Sun, which I think was pretty good, but lasted a bit too long. One of those shows where it just goes on too long. The way people felt about like Supernatural, for instance, which is actually ending soon. So then people will be saying, well, I miss Supernatural. But those shows like that should have a shelf life. They should really have a shelf life. I'm kind of wondering if I've gone like frozen here because everybody's gotten so quiet. You guys are like super quiet now. It's making me nervous. Of course, there's Slaughter's, which, as you guys know, is a particular favorite of mine. I I'm a big fan of that. And we're just talking, yeah, was yesterday about the box set. UFO, love UFO. I don't have that one though. Dark Skies was a show I was trying to think about earlier, by the way, the one that was this kind of Canadian. And Alien Nation, which I don't have, is fantastic. Now Thunderbirds, I do have that one. I can share that set. But this here, and I saw this as like, see the way this is done here? So Sliders is a series, Jerry O'Connell, John Rhys Davies, Sabrina Lloyd. It's about a parallel universe, sliding into different parallel universes. And the way the set was done, I saw this, and tell me if you think theory-wise, is that this is like, it's done like different universes. How do you find Max Headroom? I've got it, but I haven't watched it since I got it. And I will be honest with you, I'm kind of nervous that it's not going to stand the test of time. Like, I remember the Blipverts episode, you know, the pilot episode, just like yesterday. But I haven't rewatched the Max Headroom series in quite a long time. Now, I do have the Shout Factory edition that came out. Unfortunately, the one thing that it is missing is that it does not have the English, the pilot that they did in England, the original film. You realize it only went on one season after its new cast? It just seems like a lot longer, and it was only like a truncated season. But I do agree that it shouldn't have gone on after that cast, because let's be honest, you can't do Sliders with Jerry O'Connell. It was barely Sliders after Sabrina Lloyd left it, to be completely honest with you. But you really can't do it after Jerry O'Connell. You can't just take the main character and say, you know, we'll just say he merged with his brother, maybe, and maybe he's a whole new actor. I can see them wanting to keep it going, but I think it was the wrong decision to make. If they could have got Jerry O'Connell back to like just to do like a finale episode film or something like that, it would have been nice. Or just because it did go on like on a big cliffhanger at the end of season 4, because they brought in Jerry O'Connell's actual brother, Charlie, right? Charlie O'Connell. I think he was on a Bachelor show or something like that. Jack of all trades. That was the one with Bruce Campbell, right? Yeah, they did like Jack of all trades. There's another show too, like Cleopatra 2929 or something like that came out around the same time. They may have actually even came on like back to back, or at least where I watched them at, they came on like right alongside one another. I remember there was a series. Yeah, it merged with another version. Yeah, and came up with a sucker version. But I also remember there's of course, Earth 2, 2525. Thank you, 13th Wolfman. Have a good evening, dude. Enjoy your work day. And take care of yourself. Feel better. That's Moj. Did I like Ultraman? I grew up with stuff like that. I loved stuff like Ultraman. I love the Sentai stuff. Super, super fan of like that. As you guys know, I'm actually a Power Rangers fan. I make no bones about that. I got a couple of the big sets, which I do strongly. I gotta say, I recommend them. They're so well done, and they do such a great job with them. So, Shout Factory does a really good job with TV sets. They're pretty much the best for TV. I did like Andromeda, but again, it was one of those shows that went later on. I couldn't. Johnny Sock. But this is something that I'm guessing I'm probably the only person that likes here that's looking at this. But this is the original Power Rangers series. Dollhouse, I actually got that here somewhere. I like, it's okay, but I like the actress. I liked her better in True Calling, though. Dollhouse seemed to be a premise that was really good that I don't think was fully realized. And it may be because it didn't last long enough to really hit its full potential, but I think they should have done more with it than they did at the time. Dollhouse had this really intriguing premise and I don't think it ever really got up to it. Earth 2, yeah. Me and my cousin, actually, we were inside when we came inside from outdoors. And Earth 2 was actually just coming on. We had no idea what it was. It was a pilot episode. It was in the middle of the day. Hey! Hope you enjoyed your dinner. I'm here talking about something that nobody else likes. So, anybody at all ever like Power Rangers? Because I will say, man, did Chip Factory do well with these sets. These are incredible. Now, of course, the later shows were more intense, more serious. Anybody that saw this knows that the later RPM, for instance, was a much darker show. But I can see none of you guys are interested at all in my Power Ranger stuff. But of course, before there was this stuff here. Right on. So this is the Super Sentai. So this is where all the Power Ranger stuff comes from. Is the are the Super Sentai shows. Now this is the Kaku Rangers, no, G Rangers, and really enjoy this. This is like a 10-disc set. There's like a ton of episodes in this series. I was a huge fan of all these. I love to get all the 48 episodes. See, these here, people that don't like Power Rangers tend to like this because it's more like because they'll like the kaiju stuff. Lost in Space, the new series or the old series? Or I haven't seen much of the new series. Now, I did love Captain Power and Soldiers of the Future. But this was a show that was doomed pretty much from the beginning. It was a serious show with some super dark tones and some disturbing stuff with ties that were being promoted to kids. So it was an odd combination. Oh, this one, 13 Wolfmen, you probably just don't remember. But this is the outfits, the shiny outfits they had. This bad guy. So what you could do, you could get like this, these ships, and he had these little laser things on them, and the bad guys would have this like glowing thing on their chest, right? So you'd be, kids could get the ships, and there'd be like little man in it, and you'd shoot at the things on the screen, and due to laser technology, you get points like as you hit, and they could shoot back at you, and if their laser hits you, then your man kind of flies out of the cockpit type thing. You just hear a noise sometimes, but that's the way it was. It was only ran a season. Some great like writing done on this one. Actually, this is the complete 22 episode season. This came out the same time. Oh really? Definitely look it up. This was put out by VSC. And it was put out at the exact same time that they put out another set called Skeleton Wars, which was like an animated series. I will definitely do one on directors. I could really go long on a director's one actually, because I have a lot of favorite directors. Now I was asked about Lost in Space, the original, so I think it's only fair to bring down. I do have. Yes, I do have the Star Blazers. I got the first set. It's actually in my other room there, but I do have the first set of Star Blazers that came out. I don't think that. So this is my Lost in Space set. Super excited when I got this. I'm a huge fan of the series. Ton of features in here. Danger, Will Robinson. If you've never seen Lost in Space, it's fun. It's a fun show. Now, I have not watched the Netflix series. I hear differing opinions on it. Some people love it. Some people don't like it at all. But me, myself, I can't give an opinion on it yet. And there's like little known shows like, I'm not sure if you guys remember this one or not. I got the Bender head upstairs, B-Movie Archives. That's Star Hunter. That's Michael Parr. I like finding shows like that. But yeah, if you've ever seen the set, the with the bender head, the big bender head with all the discs on the back of it. That's the one that's the feature Emma set that I got. So there's I think about a season or so after that I don't have, that I got to pick up down the road. But I got all the seasons that are in that Bender headset, which is considered the original run of the series before it came back. Of course, I guess in a way this could be considered like a sci-fi show, and that is the Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, with of course David Hedison, who was my favorite Felix Leiter, by the way. That's voila. I should have known you'd remember that one. And one that I got from the creators of the show called Temps Mort, which is kind of a apocalyptic sci-fi type series. I'm not sure. It was shot in Montreal. And this is actually season 2, and season 1 is included right here. I got to meet the creators of the show. They were really, really nice. And basically the idea is that it's basically people surviving after, like, I have got CLV yet, and I'm learning French now, so there's a you have a couple of favorites. What are your favorites? I did grab a couple. Like, there's an online like course place like Udemy, which is like does like some online courses. So I thought, well, during the summertime when I'm waiting to go back to school type of thing, I'm gonna like just take a couple of different online courses for fun, and just to kind of brush up my knowledge on a couple of things. And they had them on sale. I'm actually surprised whenever I kind of, because I actually did enjoy that show. I just haven't come across it yet. The original Survivors. Either movies or TV. Like, what one stood out for you TV-wise, for instance? Like, everybody's got something that probably along the road was a big one for them. Like, some people, it'll be Star Trek. Other people, it'll be like, it could be Wonder Woman. Lex, yeah, thank you. My better half hates it. I really enjoyed Lex. I thought Lex was really cool. Lex was a bit naughtier, obviously. Lex is the only series is the only sci-fi show where I think Newfoundland is actually a part. Obviously, Lex was shot here in Nova Scotia, and it was a fun series. Yeah, I liked it. President of Newfoundland. That actually shows up in Lex. Looks like I've frozen up. So, in much the manner of sci-fi, looks like I have run into a time vortex on my channel again. However, I'll be honest, I kind of like the frozen picture right there. It not a horrible picture of me. I've had much worse pictures. But here we go. I guess at 58 minutes, this is it's appearing here, and I'm just unfortunately, Cubic Lover, I'm just disappearing because of this. Real quick summary of other shows that I love, that I watch were V, the original series, and of course Mystery Science Theater 3000. Looks like we're going to have to continue this one, guys, another time, because I am frozen up in. I couldn't have planned this better myself. Do a show, an episode on sci-fi TV, and freeze up like I'm stuck in some kind of parallel universe, or like Doctor Who in the like Tom Baker in that big 5 Doctors episode. Thank you so much for watching. I am Aaron, and I have completely frozen. Have a great night, and I will see you guys here soon. And Sequest, that one I do have the first season of. I got to get the rest. Michael Ironside Sequest, pretty awesome. Talk to you guys later. You guys rock. And this is the secret room. And shh, don't tell.